When we're somewhere in between, we just call me lover friend. I guess it is what it is. Hey, tell me what's going on. Yeah, girl, this may not be your favorite song. Cause baby, every week you switch up. Switch. So make up your mind and let's make love.
All right, and we are back. Homie Lover Friend podcast episode. We don't know, but
you don't know what episode it is.
Look, man, you don't know what episode it is. I know that for sure. So all I know is that we do got our little production setup going on here, and when I tell y'all, it wasn't easy, but we got it together.
I know.
And we are here for you guys, and we are here to present you the podcast that's been long awaited. We've been having people on our back telling us, "Hey, when y'all recording y'all podcast?" Now, granted, we've been trying to focus on our YouTube.
I thought somebody was gonna ask if we broke up.
No, they know better.
I really did.
They know better. But yeah, that wasn't even an option. But outside of that, though, we've been working on our YouTube. Follow us at Homie Lover Friend podcast on YouTube. We have a lot of videos, actually. We got close to 10 videos now.
11.
Yeah, 11
it's
videos
11
now.
right now.
And we got our Vegas vlog videos going in the rotation right now. And we have a lot more to come. We got 2 up right now. The third one is on the way this week.
2 more, yeah.
And I think we got about 2 or 3 more coming.
No, just to...
Well, we got the actual Lolo's chicken rant.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, 2 to 3 more coming. And then we're going to go back to our normal judge of just exploring around town and recording our life in.
Yeah, we got a couple vlogs in the can.
Yeah, we do.
So right after those, we'll be kind of pumping them out. And I think we have enough in the can to where we can always stay ahead. So we should be
good to go.
Back to back to back. So what have we been doing since we last talked to the people?
Well, we just came back from vacation. As I said, we went to Las Vegas, and when I tell y'all, we had a very, very good time. We had fun. But when I say I was ready to throw my damn feet off, like, it was a lot of walking. It was a lot of walking.
I just peeked a little bit.
Yeah, you did. I heard you.
I did.
That's why I said we got to worry about you getting loud. But anyway,
sorry.
It's like this with you. It's not a middle ground. But anyway,
I get loud.
Yeah, so a lot of walking, especially with this one, because she's one of these type of people who have a vision, and if that vision don't come through fully, she's not gonna be happy for the whole. Like, it can ruin the whole trip. It can ruin the whole trip. At least a day. It can ruin a day. That's for sure.
Maybe a couple hours.
It can ruin a day.
Anywho, we're not talking about that. Y'all can see that in the vlog. What I was gonna say about Vegas is I figured out why adults get so excited for that city. It's literally adult Christmas.
I mean,
everything is lit up the same way it is at Christmas time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you're in a bubble. Like, you really, I feel like, can get sucked into the glitz, the glam, and the lure that is Las Vegas.
Well, especially you, because Brittany was lucky, y'all.
What you mean, especially me?
She was winning. Like, she was playing them slots and she was winning. What I'm saying, especially you, because when you got there, you were like, they shouldn't have let me win. I ain't trying to insult you. Damn, relax.
I'm relaxed. I'm just saying. I wasn't.
Bring your antennas down.
I don't think I was wilding.
No, you didn't. Wow, nobody said that.
Oh. It sounded like you.
Bro, y'all be hearing whatever y'all want to hear. It is insane. Like I said, nothing of the sorts.
Sorry.
You said you can see how people can get lost in it. And I said, especially you, because while we were there, you got to the point where you really wanted to gamble a lot. Not irresponsibly. Not to an excess. All I'm saying is, it was just like, you're like, I kind of want to go play slots right now. Like,
because I was winning.
She was winning. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
If I would have lost.
Too bad I got to preface myself with this. Instead of just being unapologetically a good person.
You want a hug?
No.
You want a kiss?
No, I don't need none of that.
Ooh.
But anyway, so we had a lot of fun.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Would recommend.
With Vegas, the city. We had some things that went down. We're just going to have y'all watch the vlogs because we don't even want to spoil that for y'all. But It was a little rocky when we first got there, but we got everything all together because we were determined that we were not going to allow this any hiccups to happen on our trip.
I mean, we spent a whole year in the house
and development. Like,
aside from research and development, I spent a whole year in my house.
Oh, you're talking about just in general?
Yeah, I'm going to get out and I'm going to have fun.
Especially because we're super fun people. Like, we go out. We don't stay in the house. We go out.
You sound like fun people always have to say they super fun people.
Well, it ain't even that. But I'm just saying, like, we don't stay cooped up in the house for real.
No. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Doing
quarantine was an anomaly.
Even then, we found our little pockets of, like, sneaking out because we would wait till your lunch break, set a timer, take a drive around the hood. Mm-hmm. Get like little treats, ices or Rita's, Italian ice or ice cream or dinner, anything. But anywho, so our plan is to go to Vegas every other year, and I'm really excited about the next time we go, which will be in 2023, because there'll be shows open. There were no shows when we went other than like Piff the Magic Dragon, and I think it was like 2 or 3 other shows, and everything else was opening at the end of the month. We went at the beginning of the month, so I'm really excited to see like what shows
other experiences, because we had like a really, really tourist like style experience this time.
I don't even feel like, I mean, I feel like we did touristy stuff, but I still feel like it's other stuff that I want to do, like go to the Grand Canyon and go hiking. Like watch the sunrise. I still want to do the ATVs at Red Rock Canyon. Like I said, go to some concerts and shows. I want to do a spa day at Caesar's Palace. So there were a couple things that, you know, we didn't get to do, but yeah. Go to our YouTube page, check out those vlogs, and we know you'll be entertained by them. Because we, like he said, we did a lot of stuff, got a lot of good footage, saw a lot of good sights.
And let us know how y'all feel about it in the comments. Like it, share it. Because for real, we're doing a lot of... We did that traveling in that vlog for you guys to see the different things that you can experience when you go there. Because a lot of times, the reason why we did so much research is because a lot of people go out of town and they don't research the city before they go. So they don't know what it is to do when they get there. Especially if they have family there or something like that. And then they expect their family... like, what's fun to do here? You know what I'm saying? But their family got to live their life. And for real, they're not going to have you doing touristy stuff because they're not tourists. They live there.
Listen.
And you want to do touristy things.
People come to Virginia Beach and ask about tourists. I can give you some good restaurants. And I probably could give you some touristy stuff to do. But some people come to town, they'll find stuff in your city that you didn't even know about, or like you just heard about but never been
That's
to.
what I mean, more so.
Yeah.
Like, because there was a lot of stuff that we probably did that my cousins and stuff, they probably heard about it, but they didn't even really think to even go to the places that they probably never even went.
Yeah.
For example. So, same way, if people come down here to Virginia, they may do some research about little known places that we don't even know about, and we're still talking about going down to Nautica and go to the zoo or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what we think in our mind is just like touristy stuff, or go to the aquarium or something like that, or just go to the beach, for example. But they may find out about a little hidden gem beach that we didn't even know about or something like that because they watched somebody who came here as a tourist who did their research. So that's just a word to the wise. When you do travel, do some research on the city. It'll give you a little heads up on things that you can do, because we did a lot. Outside of that, what else we been doing? How's career?
I've been working.
Yeah. Clients are up?
Yes, clients are up.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you,
You
Kyle.
know what I'm saying? I knew it would happen. Hard work, persistence, dedication, things that you have and possess. I knew it was going to happen. I mean, granted, I know you probably don't like the slow grind of it, but it is what it is.
But
it takes time.
What can I do about it?
And how many years you been in now?
3.
How many years you been actually working for yourself? About a year?
1. Yeah.
Yeah, for a year, I think you're doing very, very well.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, to not have the exposure of a storefront.
True. Because I'm sure tucked off in a little crevice in the corner of the world.
Yeah. So, yeah. Me, on the other hand, I'm still working. Everything's going good with that. Accomplishments, all that good stuff. I'm I'm just trying to enjoy my summer. This was the summer that I was supposed to have last year.
Had a hot boy summer.
You feel me? Like, it was supposed to be my summer last year, and COVID took that away. So we're trying to make up for that. And I still ain't got nobody pool, so
Lord.
I'm working on that. And don't let me get started about our pool. So
Don't.
that's a whole nother story in itself.
The people don't want to hear you rant.
I got rants.
You want to dig into the topic?
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit this docket up.
Yeah. We had a lot of stuff
That happened in this time.
Yeah. And
Apart
a lot
from
of conversations that we had off mic that would be like really, we thought would be interesting conversations
I don't even remember
to a lot
half
of
of
people.
these.
Well, I'm going to
You're
just
gonna have
read
to jog
it. It
my
ain't
memory.
even going to be like natural because I'm going to just read it because when we would talk about something, I was like, oh, that'd be good for the podcast. So I jotted it down. The first thing that we wrote down was about Black movies.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a new Black renaissance that everybody's talking about. And of course, Issa Rae is involved, Lena Waithe is involved, all of those type people. And I was on Twitter or Instagram and they were saying like, we don't have any Black movies. No, they said, okay, imagine this, y'all, a new and updated version of Mean Girls with China Anne McClain. What's the girl that they say look like Sierra? Look like my friend Sierra. Ryan Destiny.
Yeah.
And I forgot the other two girls that they named.
They gotta have Yara Shahidi in it. Nah,
It wasn't Yara. It was two other people.
Low key, they could have Chloe.
Maybe.
Chloe would be good for that.
But they had everybody assigned. Keke Palmer was one of the
Keke
girls.
Palmer is like 40 years old and y'all still got her playing high school.
But she still could be young. She still
Y'all got her
looks young.
typecast like old girl from the Parkers.
Who?
What's her name, daughter?
Countess Vaughn?
No, not Countess Vaughn. The daughter of old girl. She wasn't in the Parkers. She was in she was too old to be in that damn show. First off,
Bianca
101.
Lawson?
No, not Bianca Lawson.
Spirit?
She's one of them as well too, though.
Solange?
From the
Kyla Pratt.
No, stop saying names, Brittany. It's not jogging my memory. I don't know her damn name, so it ain't gonna matter.
The daughter of the girl who was in the Parkers, but she wasn't in the Parkers. Go ahead.
Can I?
You can.
May I?
Please come
All
up
right.
with something. I don't know what you're talking about.
The daughter of Penny and what the fuck was the name of Good Times? Her mother, the one that burned her on accident.
2 words.
Kim Phil's sister. Damn. That's who. Kim Phil's
Alexis
sister.
Field.
Thank you. You knew the fuck I was talking about.
I did not. I'm sorry. No, I did not.
She gonna break y'all ears, y'all.
I did not know who you was talking about.
Right. Well, we had to
said.
get to it, but the thing is allow me to get to it.
Okay.
I just had to figure out where she was
I'll
from.
give
Give
you
me 2
30
seconds to
minutes.
me, you know what I'm saying? Remember, you know.
All right.
Golly.
No, she still look young. Alexis Field.
Right, but I'm saying you're gonna typecast. She's the new Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer is the new Alexis Fields.
Anyhow,
Somebody has to take the job, I
put
guess.
Kiki in the movie.
Yeah, if y'all
She
could,
should
y'all would
look
put
young.
Alexis Fields in the damn movie.
She should. She should be the teacher.
Anyway,
She should be the pusher. She's
Anyway.
a pusher. Anywho, so I was like, one of the girls underneath the feed, because I think this was on Twitter, basically was like, we don't have any Black movies like Mean Girls, Clueless, Legally Blind, or 13 going on.
you can't be
30.
Mean Girls because Mean Girls for Black girls is different than Sharkeisha. No, that's what it is for Black girls. Like when it's Mean Girls for Black girls, somebody about to get hit.
No, but it could still, I mean, it's a comedy, Bruce.
It has to be rich Black kids.
That's what was in the movie.
Okay, I'm down. I mean, white
My
folks are
grandfather-
generally rich, so it
My
doesn't.
grandfather.
It doesn't have to be
toasted
something
strudel.
far fetched. But I guess now, Black folks are.
I mean,
I get it. I know that sounds fucked up, but
anyhow.
if we want to be real about it, you know what I'm saying, and relatable to inner city youth.
Anywho, we need a
Yow.
Mean Girls, a Clueless, a Legally Blonde, or 13 going on 30. And when we were talking, you brought up a very interesting point, saying like one of the reasons that those movies are difficult to make for us and probably haven't been made for us is because Blackness always has to be a part of the storyline.
I said that.
Yes.
Elaborate on that. What did I mean by that? I'm like, I said that.
Goodness. You didn't say it in those exact words, but that's what you were saying. Because you were basically... What did you say that day? Do you remember?
No.
You didn't even remember Alexis Fields. I don't know why I would think you remember this. But basically, you were saying, they can't see your face, baby.
Well, they can't hear you.
Oh.
Bring the mic up. Thank you.
Anywho, you were basically saying that the reason why those movies can't be made is because the stuff that happens in the movie is basically disassociated with anything else. It's this one isolated situation or one isolated, storyline that doesn't have anything to do with the people personally. Like the way they look and talk and walk don't affect the storyline. And you were like, if it were black people, then the plight would have to be in the movie some kind of way, which would take away from
how did I
the comedy.
Because that ain't how I said it.
I don't remember exactly how you said it. How do you say it? You don't even remember what you said.
I don't remember what I said, so I'm just like, I know I ain't say it like that because I'm confused.
No. Basically, what you were saying was black people got too many problems to make movies like this. They would have to include those problems in our story.
I mean, I can agree with that, yes.
That's what you said.
Okay. Well, you were saying something about we can't walk and talk, and I'm just like, what?
No, I didn't say we can't walk and talk. I said the way that we walk and talk and certain mannerisms and things about being black.
Oh, the culture.
Yes, would have to be in the story. But with white people, that doesn't carry into it.
Well, it was white people culture. Nepotism. Trying to make stupid words cool, like fetch.
Because you basically
I get it.
Like,
I get what you're saying, though. That's
you were like,
culture, though.
A movie like that would be Say the Last Dance.
Damn. Okay,
And I was like,
I remember what I said.
But it's still not Mean Girls, Clueless, Legally Blonde, or 13 going on 30. Because you were like, the girl had a baby daddy she had issues with. The white dude, the black dude was trying not to get sucked into the street.
Okay, I didn't say we can't have movies like that because they have to bring the black plight into it. I said we have movies like that, but they always dilute it with black situations. Quote unquote.
That's the same thing I just said, baby.
No, you said
we can't have a movie that's like these movies because the people in the industry feel like, well, he got to be coming up on the rough side of the mountain, or give him a full ride scholarship. But him and Ashanti gonna get pregnant and have a baby.
And that's what I said.
Timo Cruz is out here.
The damn cheese she was making. What she was making macaroni? Boy,
we're not going.
I don't know what the fuck she was making. She was like, "That's cheese, milk, and eggs."
Bruce was like, "What was she cooking in Coach Carter?" And I was like,
"She like, damn."
I said, "You don't know what she was cooking." I said, "She said they were the most expensive things in the store: cheese, milk, and eggs."
And I'm like, "That shit cheap as a bitch."
And he was like,
"It's like the most expensive."
He was like, "What is she making?" And I was like, "What do you make, Bruce, with cheese, milk, and eggs?"
First off, all I know is she was holding a baby and shit, so I didn't know she was trying to make a bottle or some shit.
With cheese, milk,
look,
and
man,
eggs,
I didn't know she was making fondue.
I said, she's making macaroni, Bruce.
Blue box macaroni?
I don't know if it
had
was
to
blue
be.
box.
The way he was in that motherfucking little ass pot.
Milk and eggs for.
Anyway, black folks don't make macaroni and cheese like that. We use those ingredients, yes. But the setup of how she had that pot, that's why it never even dawned on me. First off, a pot. The only thing that is cooked in the pot is the noodles.
It was only two of them.
All right, whatever. All right. I get it.
You digress. Anyway, back to the black.
That's the only time black folks use a casserole dish when we about to make some macaroni and cheese. Let's be clear. Yeah, so what I was saying, I remember now. Because I had you Save the Last Dance as an example.
Yes.
And that's a good example. We had movies like that. Coach Carter.
No, we did not.
Those are technically our movies for that. But the thing is, they dilute it with black problems. Because, to be honest, that's what relates to it. It's sad. But that's what relates to it. And then we got to watch white folk movies to get the other side of the grass. And, you know what I mean? Like 13 going on 30 and all that shit. Granted, that's not our life. It's not our life. It's not our life. It's only like a small percentage of
This is what I'm saying, though.
Now,
you saying the Coach Carter experience?
that was very relatable.
But I'm
Because when I was in high school, I'm like, damn, that's my nigga, da 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 da. Or, you know what I'm saying? I understand that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why we relate to those movies so closely.
We also relate to the fantasy land,
Right.
which are the white movies, which is why it's so endearing.
But the thing about it is, that's not fantasy land for white people.
Yes, it is. 13 going on 30 was about a girl sprinkling magic fairy dust on herself somehow,
So, all right.
and then
So
going
you're saying,
back in time and reliving
I'm
her.
talking about just like the white high school movies like The Breakfast Club and shit like that.
Well, to me, that's different. That's not the same.
These niggas literally made a fucking movie about kids having in-school suspension.
That's not the same to me. That ain't nothing but the movie that whatchamacallit was in. Fredro Starr and the white lady with the curly hair, Danny DeVito ex-wife who was a teacher, and something Hill.
Sunset
Hill?
No. I know what movie you're talking about, but it wasn't that one.
Was it called Sunset Hill?
You're thinking about Light It Up.
No.
But you don't
it's
even remember
an old
Light It Up.
movie because Green Eyes is in it.
Who was Green Eyes?
May.
Terrence Howard?
Yes, but he's young. Basketball movie. Terrence Howard basketball.
Sunset
Park. We said Sunset Hill. That's what Sunset Park was.
They wasn't in detention, was they?
They was a whole bunch of misfits.
But it was still basketball.
But was she the coach?
Yes.
Did she become the coach or was she the detention teacher?
She was coach.
Anywho, all I'm saying is those type of movies, they
always have to relate it with sports. They always have to relate it with
because they feel like that's all
sexuality.
We understand.
The bad. But so for example, Class Act. That was a good movie. Class Act was a good one.
Yes.
House Party. Those were good ones. Yeah. Those were like our Project X and.
Yes.
And
we can get
super
movies,
bad and stuff like that. Granted, I feel like the late 80s, early 90s, they gave us a lot of that.
I feel like we can get movies like that because at that time, a lot of black creators were creating those movies.
But at the same time, we were still getting Boys in the Hood.
Right, but that was a black man doing that, which I understand. But I'm saying, like, there needs to be... What teen female movie like Mean Girls would you equate?
There isn't one.
Or Clueless. Even though take the richness out of Clueless. It was basically two girls in high school hanging out, driving around. That was my life. Like me and my best friends, junior and senior year, because we had half class schedules.
Dope.
That's literally what we did. But that was about drugs. Dope
Bro, they be fucking doing that's dirty.
Dope to me would be in the vein of Napoleon Dynamite. If it's more abstract. You get what I'm saying? Like weird stuff happening. They had a shootout and a daggone.
I guess
and then you can get your lunch. Like little just silly stuff like that. But there's nothing like Legally Blonde for us.
There isn't. And it'd be perfect to do that right now with all these black lawyers that's out here coming from NCCU and shit. Like, that'd be a perfect time. There isn't though. We make a good point. There isn't
Maybe
any
I
vein
should
in
write
that.
one. I don't know. That's too much.
There you go.
Anywho, moving right along.
But think about that, y'all. We really don't have none of those.
The next thing, kind of just a segue. There aren't any white girl groups.
All right, so
we put down.
We were watching This Is Pop.
Yes.
On Netflix. If y'all haven't watched it, that shit is good.
It really is.
Granted, Pop is very
broad.
Okay,
so the later episodes. Yeah, I'm about to say the later episodes. If you're not into like music history or just knowing random and weird facts, then you might lose interest in it. But
the first 2 episodes were for us. I was gonna put that out
there. Yeah.
They were for us.
I didn't want to say
then after that,
but yeah.
Look, this is a black podcast.
But I liked all of them.
No, we. Yeah. I'm even talking about, like, for example, my brother. He can't even get past the 2nd episode. Like after that, it's just. And he has.
And he in the music industry. He should.
He should be interested in it, but
that's his people history.
You know what I'm saying? But granted, I understand why he's upset about it because he's like, nigga, pop music is our music. So why are we even talking about all the other shit? But I understand there's different veins of pop music. He like, what the fuck we listening to Brit pop and K-pop and all that shit? Like, it matters because it's all pop. So you got to have it in there. But yeah, so we say that to say they were talking about in one of the episodes they were talking about Boys to Men.
Sorry.
And how
I'm tripping, y'all.
they changed the boy band. They were the first black quote unquote boy band.
They were the first boy band of that era.
Of that era, yeah. Because you had boy bands like Jodeci and shit like that, but that's different. We're talking about boy band as in
Jodeci
good
was an
boys.
R&B group.
Yeah. Boy band is different. We're talking about pop when we say boy band. We just want to preface that because we don't want y'all to disagree with us when we understand what you're saying. We're just prefacing it as boy band. We feel that is a pop title.
Yes.
So Boys to Men was the first boy band group, period. Granted, I mean, that's how it always is. I mean, we're always the first for the most part. So we're going to segue off that. They were huge. They they got the formula. Michael Bibbins had the formula. He kept them in preppy, good guy clothing, so they got the moniker to stray away from what Jodeci was the bad boys, the steal your girl guys, you know what I'm saying? The ones that you don't want to bring home to dad and mom. Whereas Boys to Men, they're singing down on one knee.
They were acceptable
crooning,
black men.
They harmonizing, they the barbershop.
I was just about to say it was a throwback. They even mentioned it. It was a throwback to when R&B groups wore suits.
Yeah, and it was
kind of like
doo-wop.
Assimilation, but not intentional assimilation. It was just who they were, and they had the same. The audience had the same response as people did to Temptations and, like Bruce said, doo-wop groups. Because I watch PBS all the time.
Man.
And they have these little showcases where they'll have like the doo-wop groups come up there, and literally 95% of the audience, these people are in their 70s, 80s, 60s. 95% of the audience be white women. And they be out there snapping and clapping on the 1 and the 3, sometimes the 2 and the 4, and they be having themselves a good old time. Even when we went to see the Motown show, the Broadway Motown play, when he took me for my birthday, it was a lot. I went to the bathroom and was like, "Oh, I can't wait for the second act." That's when Diana Ross is gonna do the audience thing. Like, she was so excited. And that was pop music back then. And it was just like, so there's always been crossover appeal with everything that we have. Y'all already know that. That's nothing new. But they were saying like the way that Boys to Men did it was very palatable to white people, and that's a lot of their fans. They were able to cross on the R&B charts to the pop charts because their visual appeal could be acceptable to both sides. And
to be honest, back in those days when you had to literally sell records, that was the most important thing.
Right.
When you were a record producer and like an industry person, was crossing over. Crossing over was the most important thing you had, because that was the difference between you being a millionaire and a thousandaire.
Right. And I feel like some people accepted their fate as just being. Yeah. Like, I don't feel like Jodeci ever wanted to cross over.
Even though they probably did get played. And for example, their main example was you never saw a Jodeci poster in a white household.
Yeah, they say you ain't see you started to see Boys to Men posters in white households. And that was one of the things
that was the problem.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's one of the things that Babyface was talking about. He was like, when that happened, people were probably like
outraged.
Oh no. So you got parents not wanting their young daughters to have these dudes on their wall.
Desiring black men.
Right. Or you also have executives saying, oh wait, what they doing over there making all that money being at the top of the charts? We need to replicate that, but in a more
wholesome fashion.
Yeah, wholesome way.
Quote unquote said that, even though that was a wholesome fashion.
Right. And then in turn you got Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. And then when they were doing all of that talking, we were like, they only replicated this with men. So you either had a 5-part harmony or a 4-part harmony, which to me still goes back to like the Jackson 5 temptation of it all. And then even in another episode when they were talking about was it Sweden was writing a lot of pop hits. They did like I Want It That Way and Hit Me Baby One More Time. And they were talking about the Backstreet Boys and Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and different people like that. And as we're watching, I'm like, where the white girl groups at? Like, you had Backstreet Boys, you had NSYNC, you had, I said S Club 7, but Bruce reminded me that they were actually a mixed batch. Like, it was girls and guys.
Oh, they might have been American. I don't know.
And then I was just like, the only white girl group that I can think of was Spice Girls, and they had a black girl in it.
Overseas.
It don't matter overseas or not. I'm just talking in pop in general, other than K-pop.
I get it.
Because you got Blackpink. But I don't know. There were no like,
girl groups historically, because then they had another episode where they went all the way back to the 1940s and 50s and 60s with pop music.
I mean, there were girl groups. You had
It was one girl group.
Oh, the people who did the no,
Right.
whatever, the TikTok viral song.
Right, but any other time it was 2 guys, 2 girls, or 1 guy,
yeah, they
2
were.
girls, or a whole bunch of guys and 1 girl,
or just a solo female.
It was always solo female acts, but
so
there was no replication of TLC in the white female vein.
Right.
But I think that has a lot to do with male. What is it called? Patriarch.
Oh, the patriarchy?
Yes.
Maybe.
I think that has a lot to do with the patriarchy. Really, because I feel that way.
I feel like a lot of times it could be financial.
A lot of times with groups, it would have always came out as female empowering.
I feel like it could be financial too. Because with men, with a male R&B group, you might need a stylist and a barber. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like one person, he can cut all 5 of their hair in a relatively decent amount of time. And they can all have outfits laid out the exact same. Most of the time when you see girl groups, they don't have the same outfits. Their outfits are similar. So it might be the same pattern or fabric, but different, I feel like something on me. But different, styles. Like with Destiny's Child, there usually be like shorts, pants, and a skirt, or a long sleeve shirt, a crop top, and a hustle top. But you also have to pay for a makeup artist for every single girl. You got to worry about hair for every single girl. Then wardrobe for every single girl. Jewelry for every single girl. So it gets kind of pricey.
I think the reason why I say it's male patriarchy is because I think the desire isn't there. One.
No, I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm saying in addition to that,
yeah, well,
it could be money.
The reason why I was saying it though is because the desire isn't there, because a lot of times the white male industry leaders or recording, what they call them, executives. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Executives and heads. They were always feeling like you had to sell to females. And in their mind,
that females wouldn't buy other females
if
it's a group.
Females, I don't know why they felt that way, even especially seeing TLC, but that's how a patriarchal mind, I feel, works. They feel like they have to sell men to women.
Well, a lot of things with marketing comes down to women.
Desirability type thing, because I feel like their mind just works on desires.
I feel like a lot of marketing things cater more towards women anyway, just because women are looked at as the purchasers of the family.
Right.
So I can see that.
Heartthrobs, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Guys are not going to buy from it. My thing is, when you got the guy group, guys and girls are going to buy from it. Guys are not going to buy from just a female group. Girls would, but not as much as girls would if it was a guy group, because it's a heartthrob thing. And then guys are just going to buy from guys because they like the music so they can sing to the girls. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's all a catch type situation. But I looked it up and I was like, dog, there isn't any female groups.
I literally typed in.
And they always show all the black girl groups.
I typed in white girl groups and it says TLC, Salt and Pepper, Dixie Chicks,
That was
Escape.
pretty much
Bewitched.
the only one. I ain't never heard of them.
Is this? I think this Bewitched right here.
Bewitched. They tried?
Oh, no,
that's the
Dixie
cast
Chicks.
of Bewitched.
Shut up. That's the Dixie Chicks.
I'm like, that's the cast of Bewitched. Don't they look like Melissa Joan Hart, whatever her name is?
I feel like I know one of these songs.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's why they ain't.
There was a one-hit wonder, a hit clip wonder. Them niggas had a hit clip.
That's why they ain't make it. Oh, they were
Mango
an Irish
Sweetie.
girl group.
Oh, well. America wasn't gonna damn sure do it, I tell you that much.
That jank ain't even in English.
Say la vie.
Okay. All right. Well, guess we ain't have
Well, that's that. We did our research on it. So, yeah, I mean, if y'all haven't watched This Is Pop, that's really, really good. Especially the first 2 episodes. If all you get through is the first 2 episodes, good
you
for
be
you.
satisfied.
You'll definitely be satisfied.
Let's talk about.
There's a lot of scandals going on. I feel like this is just one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other ones, but I feel like there's some other shit going on.
All
too.
I can think of is Monica from All About the Tea. That investigation, which
Lord.
I'm not even gonna get into that rabbit hole. And Darius Cooks and Kitchenista.
Go ahead. So, Brittany has been on this whole investigative type television watching type situation
I don't
thing.
be doing anything else. It's good mindless TV when I just want to like wind down. My ears are sweaty. I feel like in this thing.
And so I'm on Facebook and all I see is something talking about Darius Cooks is a fraud, and I was like, I just sent it to Brittany. So I was like, I ain't got no time to go down this rabbit hole. I was just about to go to bed. So I was like, let me just send this to her. I woke up the next morning, she had the story. So go ahead.
Well, basically what happened, I still haven't even figured out what the final straw was, like what the linchpin to this whole blow up was. All I know is that in me being on Twitter, I saw that this girl named Angela, who goes by the Kitchenista, has some kind of beef or feud or whatever with Darius Cooks, which is another, I guess, Instagram, YouTube chef. Like, she is a home chef, not, technically trained or whatever. And basically she was saying that he was a scam artist, that he was a crook, that he was stealing money, that he was stealing ideas, that he really didn't have real recipes, he was stealing those as well. And it was just a lot of different, it got murky, it got a little dark. I ain't go into the darkness, but I did try to get a clear picture of what was happening, because I do follow Darius Cooks on the internet. I think he's an entertaining person to watch. Have I ever tried any of his recipes, bought his merchandise, bought his cookbook, his t-shirts, his aprons, went to an event? Mm-hmm. No. We
thought about it though. We definitely thought about it. I remember we was trying to get tickets.
Thought about what?
Going to one of his events where he was cooking.
Oh, okay.
I definitely thought about it. I think I was looking for him, but they had sold out so fast.
Oh. He did one here?
Yes. It was in Virginia Beach.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
maybe I was trying to surprise you. I don't know, but I definitely looked up.
Oh, because I was like, I don't remember ever going out of my way to financially support anything that he did. I just thought it was funny that
I'm not even against it.
No, I'm not. But I'm just
we went
saying,
to Atlanta or one of the cities where his restaurant was, we probably would have went.
Yeah, I would have tried. I'm all for trying celebrity restaurants, even when people say they trash. I don't care. I just want to go and see for myself. But what was I saying?
You were saying financially supporting him. You haven't. But what does that have to do with the girl?
Anywho, so I had never heard of this girl, but I read the article that Bruce had sent me from another like cooking blog type thing, and they were basically saying that like I said, he was stealing recipes and scamming people. So he in a live, they said that he had heard about her talking about him and trying to like defame his character or whatever, and that he wanted receipts. So evidently, sis was waiting for a moment like this. What is it? All my lifetime for a moment like this, Kelly Clarkson. She was waiting for a moment like this, and she had receipts on go. she had receipts. People who wrote in talking about how they used to work for him or their spouse had worked for him in situations that happened there at like Soul Crab and his other restaurants, which to me, I try not to get too invested in online personalities because you never know. But then it's like, can you be upset with somebody or yourself for believing what somebody tells you about themselves? I mean, we knew he wasn't a trained chef because he done interviews saying that he wasn't a trained chef. A lot of his stuff he would say
his whole catch
came from his grandma's kitchen.
A trained chef to know how to cook.
Right, because he sat at his grandmother's feet as far as being in the kitchen, which sometimes you would see the recipes and you'd be like, did your grandma really cook that? But, to each his own. I know
your grandma didn't put no parsley on it. I know that much.
Right. I was also always enamored by when he be like, oh, we just gonna add a pinch of this and a taste of that and a little bit of this and a tinks here. And it was always just like an exorbitant amount of
That's what he got from his grandma.
What?
A teens and...
Because when he said we're going to add a pinch of sugar.
Is the whole bag.
And he was pouring it like the dude from House Party, the little boy from House Party, making that Kool-Aid.
Too much sugar.
I was like, I won't be eating that. But anywho, I was just, and reading it, a lot of people were like on her case, like, you spending every day, every waking moment that you on Al Gore's internet trying to bash this man while he over there, still, making his cooking videos, still with his following, catching the bag. You just jealous and wish you were where his career is. And then you had people on the other side basically
waiting on his downfall.
They're basically saying like, oh, so y'all don't support black women and everybody wants to get mad at the victim when they come out and speak and this, that, and the third. And I was just like, which side of the line do I fall on? Basically, they were saying like, oh, you just want to let a crook be out here crooking. And I was just like...
But is it really an offense, like, stealing somebody's recipe?
I don't think it's not only... It's not only about him stealing the recipe. It's about him
lying about the stories?
About him not paying his employees.
Okay, well.
About him having that app that he was supposed to have where they took money from people and never delivered the product. And then he had...
Well, she was also trying to say that he's a serial con artist. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a serial scammer. But I'm just like...
When you paint that picture that way, then you could be like, okay, I can see that. But when she did kind of go down the list of what makes him a habitual con artist, I'm just like, it just sounded like somebody who was determined to be an entrepreneur and work for himself, and he just had a lot of failed business. That's what it sounded like to me. Now, granted, poor business practices, we could say that about a lot of black business owners.
Facts.
Damn near 70% of them.
I just feel like we never know someone's intention. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he had a business idea, which to me was the wildest idea. A cupcake company where he needed investors. And to own 1% of the company, you would invest $2,000.
That's the startup.
And it was supposed to be like a cupcake company that had a storefront, but also sold box mix. Like you can buy cake mix to make cupcakes.
The investor thing of it was the startup, in my opinion.
Right.
You got to get capital in order to start your businesses.
But there was never from the people. Did you hear that?
Yes.
The air come out my throat.
That's what that was?
Yes.
I didn't know what that was.
That was the air.
Gross.
Anywho, I'm sorry, y'all. But people never got anything saying that they own a piece of anything.
Well, that's just poor business practice and poor judgment on them.
But I don't think there was ever a storefront.
Right. With that, all right, so that is kind
So I'm like, what did you do with the money?
Scamming. Okay, that's scamming.
And that's what
I don't know if it was intentional scamming or it was scamming because a lot of times when you, so for example, I do a lot of research on startups and how to place money certain ways and get money certain ways without having to take out loans and stuff like that. So for example, did you ever seen the guy with all the tattoos on his face and whatever that is like a super duper successful rich guy?
No.
Anyway, he's very intelligent. But anyway, though, he was telling us that what you know, in some cases, what you could do is you could do like a pre-ordering system.
Right.
If you have a product, you do the pre-orders. The pre-orders send in the money to you. That's how you get your capital. You make the product. But you got to have your pre-order date out far enough where you can get the production done. And you have the people to do it and have it ready on that deadline.
Right.
But he said the most important part is you follow through
deadline.
on your deadline and follow through with the product.
Yes.
And that's the thing. A lot of times, and he can honestly say, because I think his was a board game. Mm-hmm. And he said that he got a lot of bad reviews for his because he kind of over promised and under delivered a little
That's
bit.
the situation
but it was
I'm
because it
going
was
through
his
now.
first business. So he said it was a learning experience for him because it's like you got to get the right people in place to execute your plan perfectly. And if you don't have the right people in place to execute it, it can go bad, and it wasn't your intention for it to go bad.
Right. But I feel like the way in which you handle that situation will tell
what type of business person you are.
Right. And that would feed and lend to people wanting to give you another try. Like I'm going through a similar situation right now with Brandon Blackwood. You know, I was like gung-ho, gotta get me a Brandon Blackwood bag, got one, and I was like, dang, now I'm in a position where I can get more than one. So I was like, well, let me go get a couple more. Well, he pre-ordered his entire spring collection. So you bought it, and he was like, shipments will start with those bags on June the 1st.
You better wait that shit until next spring.
So some people got bags. And then some people didn't. Of course, I ended up in a crop of people who didn't. So they were like, well, people were in the comments, and like he was posting pictures of people wearing their bags or opening their packages and doing unboxings. And I'm like, dang, it is like mid-June. I ain't seen that bag. But I also know from being Kev on Stage Patreon, Kev doesn't like doing pre-orders because people always... If you say it's gonna be out June the 1st, and they don't get a tracking number June the 1st, then it's gonna be a problem, and they're gonna bombard your team, you know, with emails. And I know that it's like a black startup business, a luxury brand that a lot of people are trying to get to. So I was like, it's like when we go out to eat, you be like, I ain't gonna complain. I'm gonna just chill.
I'll be understanding. I'm a bear with them. I'm supporting.
So today is July 8th. 9th, 10th,
11th.
One of those days. 11th. I won't even near it. But 2 days ago, he had posted something up there, and the people are in his comments on Instagram basically saying, like, I'd rather just have my money back at this point. This is what I get for trying to support black businesses. I can't believe you. And then they even bought Talfar in it, like, you over here, I'm thinking you better than Talfar, but you ain't, you know, as good as them, which is the guy who Beyonce just wore his bag, but it's another black luxury brand that's always sold out. You can never get one. So he was like, y'all should have got an email, you know, basically telling you exactly what's happening with your orders. If not, you can send another email to our company. We'll give you an update. So I sent an email basically saying, hey, this is my order number. So I have two separate orders floating around. And I never got an email that you were talking about on Instagram. So the person emailed me back and was like, basically, customs randomly selected some of our stuff. This is what they telling me. I don't know if it's true. They randomly selected, you know, 2 of our pallet crates or whatever. And your order is most likely in that. Whenever we get what you order in, even if we have to send everything separately, we'll get it. You'll get it as we get it. Excuse me. To me, that's a sufficient enough answer for right now. Mm-hmm. If mid-August comes and I don't receive anything, then I'm just going to ask for a refund.
It's kind of like a situation with something in the water with Pharrell.
Yeah.
It's a prime example. I think the majority of people were cool with just having that money still be his, mm-hmm. and just when it does come back around,
Give me my ticket.
You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I felt like we would have been cool with that too. But the thing is, it's the same way with, like, for example, my job.
Can I cut you off for a second? I'm sorry. I think people are willing to do that with him because of what he did last year when it rained.
Yeah.
It rained.
Yeah.
And he didn't have to give us the ticket money back because he said rain or shine. But they refunded us 1/3 of our money because a night got rained out. He can't control a hurricane.
But he definitely over-delivered on the concert still. And everybody, he don't owe me a thing. But,
right.
You know
and it's like, so when that year came around, COVID hit, and he was like, either get your refund or we keep your money on file and keep your information on file for the next time. People like, go ahead and keep the little... 350, yeah. 400, 500, whatever tier they bought, because of the integrity of the person.
I get it. But still in all, he gave the money back. And part of the reason why is because you don't want to be responsible for holding on to people's money. It'd be plenty of times, like at my job, people be like, well, can I just pay for the whole year? And I'm like, well, we only do for 6 months. They were like, well, what if I just send the money? And I'm like, we're going to give it back to you. We're not going to hold your money. Like,
this ain't a bank, sir.
Right. Like, we're going to give it back to you. So I just want to pay for the whole year. I'm like, but we don't offer it that way. We're going to send it back to you. It's not our responsibility to hold your money. Because the thing is,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen, right?
Then.
Like, you could pass away or something like that. Just making it extreme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, in my line of work, yeah, that would be... You know what I'm saying? One of those things. But then now we're obligated to give you the money back that we wanted to give you back in the first place. We told you don't send the shit. But anyway, though. For example, though, with this, it happens time and time again. Brittany supports a lot of black businesses. Even with that oil line company, the hair oil. That happened. And her explanation was, well, you got to understand it's just me making these by myself, you know? Like, it's a lot of orders coming in. You got to bear with me. Like,
yeah.
No, it wasn't the hair oil. It wasn't
the hair oil. I know
oil.
what you was talking about.
The rose oil.
It was the rose glory.
Yeah, so the thing is, you got to be understanding when it comes to black businesses, because we're new to this. So it's
and
like,
I feel like
we're not established business. We don't have endless capital where we can do and maneuver in certain ways like other white companies can, because they got daddy's trust fund money. They were able to do things and stabilize and have distributors and mass productions. They can get that right off the bat. We don't get that luxury right off the bat. And
a lot of black owned companies are startups.
Yeah.
So even when, you know, other people of other races have capital, it's not only the capital that they have the connection with the distributor. Mm-hmm. It's the connection that they have. Sis had her and her mama make batches of skincare
and it's
products.
really on some proprietary shit because they were just scared to
give anybody the recipe,
the information, so they can get what's the lady who came up with the $1 million hair grease. Madam C.J. Walker. Madam C.J. Walker.
But I can't remember the lady that they said she took.
It's the Madam C.J. Walker effect. We give her all this credit for doing this, but she stole it from somebody else.
And that's
another black person.
That's what the girl was saying about Darius. Basically, like, so all of the scamming stuff.
He capitalized on something you couldn't fucking capitalize.
Right, and all of the restaurant stuff. To me, like not paying, opening 3 restaurants in the span of however much he did was a crazy concept, in my opinion. But the other part of it is you weren't paying your employees. We understand that you had to file for bankruptcy, but because of who you are, your restaurants were staying packed. People said that all the time. They said the food was okay.
The thing is, but we don't know the circumstance.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. Transparency is key. Yeah. If you couldn't pay your employees because you weren't able to make payroll, you should have A, scaled back, B, been honest. Look, y'all.
And I think that, I'm not going to say that.
Trying to cut the way in which he replies to people sometimes already gives people a bad taste in their mouth, and they're looking for any reason to cancel or discredit.
He has a snippy attitude, for lack of better words.
Yes.
So he likes to clap back.
Right, but you can't clap back when your stuff not in order.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't clap back against somebody who said you didn't pay me when I worked for you and I had the receipts.
It's a black culture thing, I think. I think it's a black person thing. I think we're getting away from it, but it's an old-fashioned black culture thing. we always were trying to save face and make things seem like they're better than what they truly are. And we will never admit when something is truly amiss or when it's as bad as it seems. For example, like just saving face, for example, everybody knows that parent who might have been homeless as a motherfucker living out their goddamn car, but they still wearing their Gucci. They still, come to church. It was, I don't know if y'all ever watched Hey Arnold, but it was like the rich girl, I forgot her name. I think it was Nadine or something like that. But her parents went broke, but she was still trying to put on as if she was still it was Rhonda Lloyd. That's what it was. Rhonda Lloyd from Hey Arnold. She was still trying to put on as if she was rich. So even when she had to wear broke heels and ratty tatty clothes and stuff, she tried to make it seem like it was all the rage in Paris and shit like that. But like, no, bitch, you broke. Like we're trying to save face, trying to keep up with the Jones and not, be real with ourselves. Right. Like, be real with yourself. You grew too fast. You didn't really know what you were doing. You kind of probably didn't know the right people in order to execute X, Y, and Z when it needed to be executed. And now you got 3 of these that you got to deal with instead of just one, and perfecting and mastering that. Right.
And I feel like that comes with
experience,
and also who is your people?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's no way that I will allow you. It happens
though, and then you do better after you got to sometimes.
There's no way that I will allow you to open 3 restaurants within a 5-year time frame.
Well, you gotta understand he's a man too at the end of the day, though, Brittany, because even though he's homosexual, but
no, I'm just
the
saying,
man to him probably wasn't gonna allow somebody to talk him down, because you could tell he's one of those super driven people who feel like if he put his mind to it, he can do it.
I understand that, but at some point, your logic gotta kick in as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
if I present something to you with logical merit, I'm pretty sure that you would go with what I
This
said.
Is me that you're talking to.
And that's why I
don't have to bump my head to learn my lesson. I can.
True. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's your circle.
Yeah.
If you are financing,
have people you trust.
Let's say you financing everybody trip, or you doing this, that, and the third, and everybody's scared to tell you no, you gonna fall.
But I think everybody has that in them a little bit. I mean, for example, my mom would always say some people that she knew she would tell them the same exact thing that a white person would tell them, but since it was a white person, they take it for, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he said it got to be true. Nigga, I've been saying that the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that's a terrible example, but it's a people thing. Yeah, and it's just some people are like that. I have friends that are like that you can tell them one thing, but they have it already made up in their mind that they're going to do it this way because the person who they truly trust is telling them this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you think they may trust you, but
not
they
really.
won't even take your advice when you know what you do. And you done literally lived it. Oh, that bothers me.
Yeah. I think on the flip side of that coin with the girl, somebody asked a question and then got attacked for asking the question, but of course it's Twitter, so it's gonna happen. But I had the same question. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong, because they also talked about how he used to dox people who would try to scam him, and granted, like, you're scamming somebody or trying to say like, hey, we didn't go to this event, and the credit card company would, they would have to fight to dispute their dispute, and he would get online and basically put all of their information in a screenshot, this person from this place, IP address, whatever, stuff that you can look up and track a person down with. He would like kind of dox them or whatever, and she was talking about that too. But the person, going back to my original statement, the person asked, what are you going to, at the end of the day, what do you wish to happen? And what are you going to gain from this? And people jumped on him like, this is a black woman trying to tell her truth, and here you are trying to shame her into silence. And I'm just like, no, it's a very valid question. What is supposed to be the end result?
I mean, the thing is, this day and era is the cancel culture, so exposing people.
So what, you want him to get canceled and then you take his spot? What if you're not funny?
No. She's not going to take a spot.
That's what I'm saying. But
because
I'm saying, what do you want?
If you're meant to be successful, you're going to be successful. Some people just ain't got it.
And that's what I'm saying. You're going to do all this, and you're still not going to get the cookbooks, the YouTube.
But it's the satisfaction of knowing
Juneteenth deal.
Some people get satisfaction out of knowing that they tore somebody else
down.
Yeah. And somebody that they justifiably felt needed to be taken down. She may, in her mind, feel like it's justifiable from the things that he do wrong, because he do some wrong shit.
A lot of wrong.
Yeah, he do a lot of wrong. So she's like, it's justifiable for him. Why are y'all still giving this man money when he's this type of person? She don't like him. It's personal. It's not even a business thing, so she doesn't have anything that she wants to gain from it.
It's personal.
She doesn't have anything that she want to gain from it because it's not business. This is personal. She clearly feels like he stole from her.
Right.
I'm gonna beat your ass. That's really what it is, and this is her version of beating.
And
his
I can't
ass.
physically fight.
Yeah, so I'm gonna till you do right by me. Everything that you think about is gonna crumble. You feel me? So like, this is her way of getting back at him, and it ain't business. It's personal. She ain't trying to gain nothing from it. But she gonna tell her truth. He stole from me. These are my recipes. I cook like this. I put all the parsley and butters and the Hennessy and all that.
No, but she not even saying that they her recipes. She's saying that she went in on something with him way back that went left. And she's also saying we been knew he was a crook. We should have known he was a crook. And they're literally, I watched a couple videos of her going back to his old videos and some of the new ones dissecting his cooking style. Like, you don't need to put seasoning salt,
but
kosher salt, adobo, and what's the other, Old Bay on whatever meat or whatever. She was like, that's too much sodium. That's more than whatever the daily intake should be. And I'm like,
this is how black folks cook. First off,
and I was like, if people are willing to be conned, to be given recipes, even when I find recipes on Pinterest, I don't always follow them. I need the ingredients list. I don't want your measurements. I'll make up my own. I'll sprinkle until the ancestors tell me to stop.
But even with that being said, though, Brittany, it's anybody who has a cooking show on YouTube get the same criticism. Yeah. Chef Marco Pierre White, the mentor to Gordon Ramsay. Literally, I've watched videos where other chefs were critiquing him on his cooking. And this guy has had Michelin star restaurants. You feel me? So it's like, it just comes with the territory. You're going to have haters when you have success. More money, more problems. So he's not exempt to it. Granted, I don't agree with everything that he's done. For the wrongdoing that he's done, okay.
Hold him accountable.
The thing is, like, do you really need somebody to expose it? But that's just the day and era that we're in today. Like,
but that's why my question was, what is the end result? Like, is there going to be a class action suit by the people who?
But it's not business.
Is there going to be a class action suit by the people who he scammed and conned and didn't pay? Like, how do we rectify the situation? Or do you just want to put this information out here and have the public attack him on your behalf?
That's what it is. She was hoping that Black Twitter was going to do its thing.
And it has.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have people who's going to do his thing. But it hasn't been as effective
as she wanted it to be, which is why every single day she was getting on Beyonce's internet talking smack about this man.
It's the same thing with your girl who's out here putting other innocent people's lives in danger trying to find a girl because she didn't apologize. Like, it's not that serious, but she's blowing up on the internet right now because of this. And you couldn't let that shit go. You was glued to the television.
Because it's for me, because I won't invest it in any kind of way.
Like, but Bruce, her followers have solved 3 murders. Like,
It was enamoring. Is that the word that I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
To me, because it was my first thought. We're talking about Monica and All About the Tea and Nosy Ho Live.
Change the subject, guys.
Yes, but my first thought about that situation was there is a whole nother internet.
Oh yeah,
that I know nothing about.
There's a whole nother world. It's a world of con artists.
There's multiple internets that I know nothing about. Because even when I was watching a podcast, Kev was saying how JoJo's son was talking about fame and relative fame, because he was saying there was a gamer who has like 6 million followers or something on YouTube and Twitch that his mom knew nothing about. And I was like, 6 million people sounds like a lot of. If we had 6 million followers,
we wouldn't be staying here.
Listen, but it's just like, and that's just way over there. So you probably got a makeup YouTuber somewhere that some gamer person doesn't know about, and they got 6 million followers. So when I heard
you gotta
about
understand, the shit that you watch on YouTube is completely different from the stuff I watch.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like your worlds could never cross.
Yeah.
Like they can, but most likely they won't.
Right.
So when I heard about the situation and another panel that Bruce and I watched was skirting around talking about it, and then they brought on a person from that panel, and I was like, well, who are they, and why do the girls that I watch seem to know so much about this person in this other panel? So I started doing some research, and I was like, oh.
So the
and then
blog world has an internet.
Right. And then it got interesting because I was like, wait, 10 people work for a lady that they never seen before?
That's
because
insane.
Everybody who watched, from what I've gathered, thought that the people who worked for, quote unquote, the Avatar knew who she was.
This sounds stupid even talking about it.
But nobody knew.
What are you
talking about? And I was like, there's no way that I can report to a job every night, and y'all doing the show 5 days a week, and you ain't never seen this person. And then the more stuff I started to learn and understand about the show, like, you got a show, but an hour before the show, even when y'all have a guest, you didn't know who the guest was and you didn't know the topics. How you gonna formulate opinion and like produce a good show without information? And on top of that, you working for somebody you don't know. It was just a lot of stuff. And then it was like people were stealing people's identities. Somebody may have been, a drug dealer. It was 2 different people behind the one, persona. It was just a lot. And it just got really, really,
to be honest, I don't want nobody else to get involved in this. So.
No.
It's a whole lot. It's just, Brittany was up all night watching this.
If you're into, I like sociology and psychology and why people do the things that they do. So I figured it's only going to be a couple days before the internet finds out who this person really is. Because it don't really take that long.
They couldn't find her because it's like 3 different people, and then they bringing all these other people who got the same name as her, harassing her.
She's using other people's identity.
It gotta be you. It gotta be. Oh, it's
right.
you. It's you. And I'm like, with the bush, and it's just like,
and it was Todd.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, but what if it ain't? And y'all in here insulting this lady, like,
right? Because they show was calling that other lady beefy. She was kind of chubby, and then it turned out.
And I'm just like, y'all going off these empty ass leads that y'all followers, the people that comment in the goddamn comment spot.
And then she was sending people to the comment spot to get them more information about
these motherfucking people are out here going through public records trying to find. And she had a business, and it went this way, and she had AKA, and she known for having shady businesses, and she had her own little tax loan, money quick cash. I'm just like,
and then it got sticky because allegedly one of the businesses that she had was near where we live, and I remember this tax service being on the news, and I was like, with a name like that, that's where you went to get your taxes done? It was just really, really weird. But I said all that to say, what does the internet really want to become of these situations?
What do you mean by that?
Are we supposed to sue Darius Cooks? Are we supposed to sue Monica?
Please clarify these different things. I'm just like, I don't know if anybody knows
what does the internet want to become of these investigations?
Oh, yeah. Well, they wanted to be Bill Cosby.
You don't have no opinion. No, you're not a lawyer. You're not a cop. You're not a judge. You're not a jury.
You're not even a scholar. Like,
Dang,
you feel me? Like,
what if they went to college?
You're not even astute. But like, nigga, you were 155th in the class of 157th. Like, but you out here, couch side investigator, private eye, couch side, private eye. Like,
I don't know. The world
like,
is a weird place.
People hate. And that's just all I have to say.
People hate and are jealous.
Super jealous and hate.
And then I just feel like I don't have enough energy to expend on the situation.
And this is what people
not
do. Y'all
benefit
bullied
me.
K. Michelle into taking her fucking wig off. Literally, K. Michelle thought she was so beautiful that night. I think I'm gonna post a picture. Man, when I say the internet exploded off
That
K.
did not
Michelle,
look like her.
they like,
Did that
who
look
was
like her to
this?
you?
That ain't K. Michelle. This don't look like her. She done got some work done. I'm like, now all y'all motherfuckers out here that be out here doing makeup, turning women into goddamn Denzel Washington with makeup. Y'all think that
Women into Denzel Washington?
You ain't never seen the little makeup tutorials where they be doing?
She make herself into gotcha. I saw somebody do Will Smith and she did not look like Will Smith, but okay.
All I'm saying is, K. Michelle again, and I'm sitting here saying to myself, I'm like, she ain't getting no work done. It's just a lot of makeup, y'all. Granted, I'm not here for it. But I'm not about to sit here and put in the comments, you did too much. You take some of the filler out. Take some of the filler out. Now you done fucked up your face now. You just got your ass fixed. Like, people were really bullying her. And I was like, really, all it is just a wig. For real, the wig, it really made her look a lot different. And the makeup was really, really light.
It was the lightness. I was like, she was darker.
It was the highlight. And you already know how literally, Delicious, for example. I thought this too. I thought Delicious had went and got her nose done. But then I saw Delicious without makeup and she looked like Delicious. What it is every day she contours her nose to the point where that motherfucker look real Janet Jackson-esque. I mean, teeny tiny LaToya Jackson nose. Like, I put a triangle on my nose and I put two little slits in that motherfucker. Just so I can get a nice breeze, a stream of air. Like, literally. I'm just like, and she does this to her nose every day, and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are you trying to look like? Three Blind Mice? Like, it's so small. It's so small. Like, bitch, did you chop your nose off and replace it with a triangle of cheese? Swiss.
Shut up. But you digress.
I digress. So what I'm saying to you all is y'all be bullying people. And then y'all want to talk about cyberbullying, but y'all bully people all the time.
They bully people they feel deserve it, Bruce.
And then
I'm just trying to help
y'all.
And
then I want to get on Kevin Samuels' case.
We don't like Kevin. So we gonna bully him.
Because y'all be claiming he be bullying these girls when these girls go to him for validation. It's the craziest shit in the world to me. It's the craziest thing in the world to me.
That's my take on it, though. If he's a con artist, well, let him con who he can con, because he won't con me.
And y'all want to call this man a con artist because y'all think he gay?
No, they ain't had nothing to do with it. They called him a con artist because that nigga was taking $2,000 from somebody's grandmama and promising them 1% of a cupcake business.
Oh, you talking about Darius Cooks? Yes. I thought you were talking about Kevin Samuels.
Oh, no. I'm saying if Kevin is a con artist, if Darius is a con artist, then let him con the people who can be conned.
Well, no. I get it. She was trying to bring that to the light.
In here.
I accidentally hit one of these knobs. So she was trying to bring it to the light because the thing is that a lot of times people go on thinking that these people are great and good. For example, this is how she brought Kev on stage into the situation. Mm-hmm. She was like, people don't do their due diligence and their research on people. And I'm just like, wasn't nobody going to ever find that out? Except for the people who got conned.
Right.
Which is a small population.
And that's what one of the people were saying in the comments. They were saying, they were saying people don't understand how cons work. Because somebody was like, well, this didn't happen to me and that didn't to me. And he was like, people don't understand how cons work. Artists don't con everybody. Right. They do enough to seem legit to rope in more people to then con who they can con out of that group. And I said, that's with any crime. You can't say a serial killer didn't kill people because he didn't kill you.
Facts.
Like, crime, murder still happen. Cons still happen.
Okay, that was a good example. I give you that one.
So it's just like, that was your experience. That's why I always say, I haven't experienced that person that way.
Right.
That's my favorite line when people come to me about some stuff. That was the whole thing with Felicia Rashad and Bill Cosby.
It keeps coming around to this.
It's just like, right. It's just like, you didn't experience him. Of course you wouldn't. You his co-star on his number one show that bring money into the pockets of him, feed the family, and help him do his charitable donations. He not going to violate you.
Still doesn't mean he didn't violate others.
Right.
Therefore making him what he is.
Guilty.
It is what
And
it is.
off on a technicality, which happens in a lot of crimes, unfortunately.
Well, nigga, this is what white folks do all the time. They get the lawyer that can get the loophole.
And that's what I'm saying. Unfortunately and fortunately.
Right. Just how many times we didn't fall through the crack, or what there was a technicality and we still ended up having to go to jail for life.
Right.
Or we just didn't do the shit and still had to go to jail for life. Like, come on now. But
there are no absolutes.
I'm not saying that he's not wrong.
I'm saying there are no absolutes in this.
And I'm not even saying
world.
that Darius Cook isn't wrong. But then they tried to rope Kev on stage into it. No, it's still recording. No, we're still moving.
Oh.
Kev on stage, they tried to rope him into it, talking about some, you got him interviewing on your shit. This is why you got to do you. Wait, bro. Like,
oh, yeah, they were also trying to get him to speak
him
on
for.
him.
Because the thing is like, don't nobody know. This is why you do interviews with people. You said that. And I was like, that's a good point. Like, you don't know a person until you interview them. And for half the stuff that she was talking about, he spoke on it before. Like, for him not being a real chef and the way his cooking methods may be unorthodox, it's because he's not a chef. He didn't have to go. He feels in his mind he doesn't have to go to school to learn how to cook an onion or to cut an onion. The onion got cut.
And he also was saying, they talked about him doxing, even though they didn't use the word doxing, because this was like 2015. No, it wasn't that far back. 19, maybe 18. I think it was like 2018 when he was basically saying, like, you be clapping back on the internet all the time. Like, why do you do it? He was like, it's entertaining to watch, but I could never be the person, to do that. And then, do you feel shame in it? It was like, Darius was basically like, no, I don't. Because the people I dox be the people who be trying to scam me by coming to my event, eating my food, drinking my drink, and then saying, oh, I never went there. Give me my money back. And as a person who owns a business.
Yo, people do this shit all the time.
As a person who owns a business, I can gladly say that out of my 1 year of being self-employed, only one person has done that to me. And I lost the dispute. Even though I had physical evidence that I did service this person. But at the end of the day, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna block you from my books so you can never book with me again. And I'm just out X amount of dollars for the service that I provided you.
Yeah.
But it pissed me off because I was like, girl, you sat in this chair for daggone near 2 hours, getting your nails done, kikiing, and watching my TV on my free internet. And then you're going to sit there and say, and you tipped me. And then you're going to sit there and say, I never serviced you.
People be doing this shit, bro. Like, people will buy something online and say it never came.
All the time.
All the time.
Or
something that's supposed to do payments. If they don't do no credit check or whatever the case is, they'll pay that first payment.
And go ghost. Scammers are going to
Scammers
scam.
are scammers, bro.
They're going to scam if they can. And it's like, I feel like as a person conducting an interview with somebody else, I mean, you do your due diligence, but that nigga ain't a journalist. That's like me sitting down and asking somebody some questions and they giving me the answers to the questions.
It's not his responsibility.
I'm not going to go back and think to fact check or if they were lying, because that was another thing. She was like, he's lying about when he became a millionaire. Because he had a bankruptcy on this particular day. And then that would have put him, he said, at this age. And that would have put him at such and such age. Who
gives a fuck?
Cares?
And I'm just going to put it like that. Because I'm just like.
And who is going to think to go back and double, triple check the facts. If
There's
I'm
people
doing
out
it,
there.
but I'm saying if I'm doing an
I ain't
interview
got no
with
business.
you,
That's what it is.
I ask you a question. I'm on good faith and just human thought. I'm going to tell you, what are you doing, babe?
Talk. We in the
I'm
middle of a
asking.
podcast.
And it's a visual, and all you doing is this.
I'm listening to you. Go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm just asking. But you're just like, what are we supposed to do? How you fact check people? And who cares enough to fact check people?
I don't know. But internet thugs, internet investigators, internet bullies. The internet is a lot, yo. So I don't even know how we're going to segue into this last topic. But we were talking. Me and Brittany, we went out to dinner and we just had a discussion. I don't know how we got on the topic. Do you remember how we got on the topic?
No, when we go out to dinner and have a discussion.
It was when we went to the wing night. And this is when that came up.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of carried itself over into another day as well.
Yeah, I was like, I remember the second part, but go ahead.
I don't remember how we got on topic about it, but we were just talking about how women have egos now, and it may kind of outshine men egos now to the point where we kind of like, I feel like a lot of women spend a lot of time trying to watch out on boosting male egos when in actuality female egos might be worse. I'm going to get a lot of hate. I'm going to get a lot of criticism about talking about this because it's hard talking about things that women do wrong nowadays. Even though y'all claim y'all get talked about a lot, but not as much, in my opinion. But anyway, fuck it. I'm just going out with it. But so it's a three-facet, I guess you could say, prong, in my opinion, about how me and my brother were talking the other day, and he was telling me that he was talking to one of the females that he dealt with, one of the women that he dealt with. I'm sorry,
I was just about to say
females. I mean, because you guys are females, but one of the women that he deals with.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
One of the ladies, one of the
queens,
one of the X chromosomes.
Queens.
One
Say
of the queens.
Thank you.
Female queens. I don't understand. All right, so I'm not calling her a dog. I just want to put that out there.
Bro,
because I call her a female, it's not calling her a dog.
Go with the damn story, bro.
Yeah, you can't even just call y'all a goddamn. Like, it is y'all. All right, whatever. Yeah, so he was telling me that she was explaining to him how, granted, something that we already knew. Drake said it plenty of times. Y'all don't do it for men. Men never notice. We were talking about how girls do a lot of the shit that they do, and it's not because of men. It's really more so for girls. And granted, a lot of girls may never admit that, but that's what it is a lot of times.
We admit it.
And
some of us do. Most of us do.
Right. And it kind of carried on to our conversation where I was just saying, like, I don't think girls care anymore, like, about how they present themselves to men. For example, I was like, you were telling me the other day about one of your customers saying that, I guess, her son said that he would be a good boyfriend or something like that. It was a little endearing story or whatever the case was. And he had named all the qualities of why he would be a good boyfriend. It was really cute. And I was like, that's important to men. Like, men, when we pursue women, we're so focused on how we present ourselves to y'all. But I don't think y'all give us that same consideration. Like, how can I explain? Like, being super aggressive, talking kind of reckless. Even with the whole... So, my mom told me a long time ago, she went out with her boyfriend, and she was with one of my aunts at the time. Mm-hmm. And she was saying they had got all this food, and they didn't eat because they were self-conscious. Now, granted, this is probably like early 90s, late 80s maybe. Mm-hmm. They were self-conscious about
eating in front of a man.
Little shit like that. That's so far gone now. Like, that shit, y'all gonna grow up. And burp.
Cracking crab legs.
Sauce all on your motherfucking face.
licking sauce off my
biting the
forearm.
motherfucking shells and shit. Like, y'all don't even care. And I was just like, and what was funny about that story was she said he ended up going to the bathroom, and when he went to the bathroom, they started going crazy and shit, eating the food or whatever. And I was just like, damn. I mean, granted, I'm sitting here thinking about it in my mind now today, like, that's crazy. But then I thought about it, I was like, that's consideration.
In the 90s, people were still doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have a salad.
Yeah, like it was because.
And put shrimp.
Girls cared about their
chicken.
figures back then, because think of all the times you be looking at all those old videos, you be like, she's so snatched. Like, look at her
I
waist.
feel like girls care about their figure now, and the reason I be saying that, I really think it's just the food.
Well, it is the food. It is the food, but my mom would say it all the time. She was like, girls don't even care about having a small mid area anymore. They just be and hanging and all that. Not all. I think it's kind of reverted.
I was about to say something.
It kind of reverted. Well, my mom, in her heyday.
No, I wasn't about to say nothing about your mom.
I was about to say, in her heyday, she was plickety-pack,
I was going to say it ain't stopping no niggas from bending you over.
It ain't. And I think that's really what it. But the thing, let's just go back to what we're trying to say here, though. Mm-hmm. The consideration for men back then was at a high level. Now to the day, it's not at all. Like, y'all don't care about how y'all present yourselves. Y'all don't care how we feel about y'all. And even with you saying that girls care about their shape and their figure now, it ain't about a man. It ain't even about themselves. It ain't even about being healthy. It's about looking better than the next. And it's really about social media. And I think that it became an important factor again, because girls were starting to go around looking like tanks before social media became a thing.
Ooh. But I feel like...
And once social media became a thing and you had to present yourself...
This nigga will pause. And I think he died. Then I go to talking. Then he started talking again. Go ahead.
Yeah, because I'm letting you know I'm not done.
Ooh.
So, social media had... Once you have to present yourself on a social platform where it's going all across the world, and you're being influenced by all these other people who look a certain way, it's just...
And what about if you just seeing
crazy,
yourself
bro.
Every day?
Shit's crazy.
Your mom's generation didn't take pictures every day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they had a mirror.
Right, but what made them maintain was they... Go ahead.
But then you didn't see yourself every day in the way that our generation, and we see ourselves every day now. Any woman who takes a picture is going to look at that picture and be like, nope, not that one. Even back then, when you can snap and you wouldn't see a picture till 3 weeks later when you took all your film down to get developed. Certain ones you kept, certain ones you threw out. Or certain ones you just was, this a bad picture.
But that's not even the grand scheme of what I'm talking about.
I understand that, but I'm saying it's a part of it. Not everything, it's perception. You say women don't care about how they treat or talk to men. And what I said that particular day was, it depends on the woman, just like it depends on the man. And even earlier when you was talking about people on the internet saying a dude ordering for a woman is controlling, or I don't know if that's the word you use, controlling. It's perception. Mm-hmm. If you grew up in a household where you saw your dad take your mom out and he ordered for the family and did certain things, it wouldn't be considered that way to you. Or if you get older and you start to know more and think more, it doesn't seem so surface and nonchalant. Like the status that I was reading today about the dude saying, some of y'all women are set in y'all ways, which is why I try to date a 20 to 24 year old or 19 to 24 year old, because I can build with them and they're flexible. And the girl was basically like, oh, basically you're just saying that I don't want to deal with a woman having to confront me and tell me about myself. So I'd rather deal with somebody who's more malleable and that I can shape and mold. And I was like, back then, we wouldn't even had that perspective to put that into words. It was just, he prefers a younger woman. Now it's like we know more so we can do more. And as far as like not caring about what men think or men say, a lot of times that can come from women's previous experience experiences with men in their life, or a lot of times, which I agree with these people thoughts on the Brilliant Idiots, they always talk about the swinging of the pendulum. It was all the way to this way, so much so that a woman would go out on a date with a man where she was supposed to eat and relax and get to know him, and wouldn't eat and wait till he go to the bathroom to scarf down some wings, and then it swings all the way to this extreme where I don't give what nobody say about nothing. I don't give about a nigga, and it's gonna keep going back until we find a happy medium, which some people have done, which is why the value of family is such a big thing now. People are working to try to get that back to the middle, in my opinion.
I agree.
Cool beans.
I agree. But, and however, it's just fucked up that the shit is the way it is, man. It's just, I mean, but we already know that it's a systematic thing. It was by design. Mm-hmm. And we just got to be smarter. And we got to understand that it ain't supposed to be like that. And really what it got to boil down to is this girls got to get back to, because the thing is, women have to get back to caring about.
Letting y'all be our world? I'm just asking.
My thing is, but y'all want us to be y'all world. Like, I mean, y'all want y'all to be our world, though, and we allow it. The thing is, for example, me and my brother was having this conversation about men losing themselves in women or whatever the case is. Women would say it all the time, I lost myself in him and things like that. Mm-hmm. It sometimes come along with the territory, whatever the case is, of being in a relationship. You just got to find that medium. You got to be able to, and you can't be all engulfed into it. But as I said earlier, with men, we literally care so much about how we present ourselves to y'all because we understand what's important to y'all. Same way when we were having that conversation, you said with men, it's all physical. So now y'all saying, when you said that, in my mind, I heard that you were saying that we don't have a mental capacity to have control over anything but just the physical of how y'all look. And that's all that matters to us. And I'm like, no, we, just like how y'all want to be treated and handled a certain way, we do too.
But traditionally,
and that's just really just being your best self.
I understand
but
that.
We never had to worry about that before.
But I'm saying traditionally, it's like being in an abusive relationship and then getting with a man who don't beat you, but lift his hand up to scratch your head and you flinching and ducking. It's learned behavior. You've been treated one particular way for so long that when something else comes, you have to recalibrate, and that recalibration takes time.
So as you're saying, what you're saying right now is that some women have unresolved traumas that they need to sort out before they get into a relationship.
Yes, and some men do as well. But like I said earlier, I feel like women are more open and susceptible to being told that men aren't, or men were not. Because now that the stigma is kind of lightening or lifting, right? That's what I'm saying.
We can't tell y'all shit,
right? Because we feel like we can't tell y'all nothing. Look, this is the example that I used earlier.
Okay. I got an example too.
The example that I used earlier was Safari and Erica Mena.
It's a terrible example, but go ahead.
This is what I'm saying. The example I used earlier was Safari and Erica Mena. Back when Erica Mena first was on Love and Hip Hop, she was a firecracker. She was with Richie Dollar. She was with Sin Santana. She was popping off. She was this, that, and the third. Now on this latest episode, which I only saw a clip of, it's her and him sitting at the table and her saying, look, dude, I need help. I do laundry. You don't help me fold. You walk past the kids' toys in the middle of the floor like they're not even there. Like, I'm doing a lot and I need you to help me. And his was, you could be doing more. All you do is have an attitude around here. And then you talk about expanding the family and you're pregnant right now and I don't want any more kids because I didn't know how much hard work it was going to be. And what she told him was, you need to grow up. You got issues that you need to work through and you need to become more mature. And his response was, I forgot what he said back, but it didn't have anything to do with what she said to him. So I'm like, you are in a situation where the person that you're married to, who's the mother of your children, is confronting you with a realization that you need to do more and be more, and she's calling you to be your higher self, and you just don't want to. You don't want to accept it. You want to keep tunnel vision on what you're displeased with, but y'all not in that fun, we can travel and move how we used to before we had kids stage. So you have to recalibrate, and either you're going to accept it and try to make it work, which is going to take time and she will have to be patient, or you're going to totally discard what she's saying and focus on you, which we've seen he's chosen because his baby is in NICU and he out in Jamaica or wherever he at dancing.
The reason why I say this is a bad example is because this is about poor selection.
Yes.
And she married a fuckboy. She was trying to turn a fuckboy into a husband.
Yes.
And sometimes you just can't do that. He's immature.
Yes.
She got with him. I'm not even going to say that. I was going to say, I was like, you get with a nigga who fucking meat is fucking long as the goddamn table and it's fun and games then until y'all have a fucking baby.
I would agree with that point.
You think that he's going to grow up just because he has a baby? That's like saying that getting married is going to fix the issues.
I agree with that.
You selected a bad man to start a family with.
I understand that.
He's immature. It is what it is. He just ain't shit.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I understand that and I agree with that.
And as you said with me, it's just some people who just ain't shit.
It is.
He's one of them.
And I'm just saying,
I ain't gonna change for nobody else.
I understand and agree. I'm just saying that this is also an example of telling somebody something about themselves that they don't want to accept. That's all I was saying.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, because I was like, for example, the whole popping off thing. I was just gonna use an example, but now it ain't gonna make sense. I was just gonna be like, just think about who accept, because you were saying that men are not good at accepting feedback. But a lot of times when it comes to mental health and things, it'd be the guys who are all into it and all in. And sometimes it is women as well. But when you say, for example, when you go to a Yanla and you watch that show, who be the main people that be popping off on that lady?
Women.
And men be in there crying, falling at her knees, just like, I needed this. And they're acceptive to it.
But I think that's a whole nother...
And that's a whole nother dynamic about mother-daughter relationships.
I was just about to say, I think that's a whole nother dynamic of mother-daughter relationships and woman-to-woman relationships.
And communication. Hence
communication, what you mean?
Henceforth, the fact... I said
you don't need to say henceforth. Hence the fact.
Hence the fact, then. Thank you. Hence the fact, for example, with Kevin Samuels, a lot of women say, why does it have to be a man that's giving this advice to women? And his response always is that women don't accept advice from other women.
We don't accept advice from other women we don't respect or admire.
I don't even agree with that.
Okay.
Because you can respect Iyanla Vanzant.
You can't respect Iyanla Vanzant if you're going to pop off on her the way you do. There's certain ways that you treat people that you respect. Me and my mom just got into it.
All right.
I didn't pop off on her because I respect her.
Brittany?
What?
Okay.
I'm saying the disrespect comes when you don't respect somebody.
I respect that. And I think when it comes to men, we kind of respect just about everybody for the most part until we're disrespected. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, even going back to him, so with all the women being his that's his biggest following is women. And it's really because...
Who, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know who we were talking about.
Yeah, women call into that show all the time. Granted, his show started off as a show that he did for men.
Okay.
He was constantly on men's case about being this, being that, being that, being this, being this, being this, dressing like this, smelling like this, doing this in your businesses, and growing into this person in order to make yourself attractive and desirable. Mm-hmm. Don't be mad when the girl goes for this guy when you're this guy.
Gotcha. And
then he had a couple episodes where he kind of talked about women, and the shit took off because a lot of times women seek validation.
Okay.
And for some odd reason, they go to him to seek the validation like they're going to be the exception to the rule. No,
some odd reason.
It's weird. But I'm not even going to get into the Kevin Samuels then. That can be another episode because That was a whole nother revelation in itself. But we had a good podcast, babe. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, we had a lot to talk about because we ain't been up here in a month of Sundays. People thought we had fell into a hole.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and finish this here for you guys. It's kind of weird having the visual aid here now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're sitting here just looking at each other and looking all over the place instead of looking right there. We got to get used to this. But tell us how you guys like the setup. We're going to try to make it better. We kind of got it rigged a little bit, but I think it looks nice.
Don't tell us how you like the setup. Tell us how you like the podcast. I honestly don't care how you like the setup, because you're going to get what we're going to give you anyway. But if you have topics
I'm open
that
to
you would
hear
like,
anything that you guys may have. I'm just curious.
I love you for your curiosity, babe.
You curious too, but you ain't curious about what other people think. Took the words right out your mouth.
You know me so well.
All right, so say bye to the people, babe.
Bye, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Later.